to show you how simple it is to create public intake forms, let's create a new list together from scratch. So I'll click on New, and I'll select List. I'll select List again, and let's give our list a name. I'll call it SOS Intake. That's the name of our public forms feature. And click on Create. Now, I don't need to create any columns. I will have public intake forms create the columns I need using a template. So first thing I'll do here, I'll click on this quiz apps at the top, and this is going to take me to the settings page. Now here we see many rich features available. These are all features of our Forms app. So today we will be mostly looking at public forms, and also a couple of other features I'll introduce as well. Now, since this is a brand new list I'm going to use for the first time, I need to click on Quiz Forms Display Mode, and this is a one-time thing I'm doing to enable it. I prefer a full page, so I'll click on it. And by the way, if you're using only public intake forms feature, you don't need to enable this. If you want to use all the other features, this is when you would do that. Okay, now let's create our public intake forms. So I'll click on public forms. I'll click on new forms. And now I have several options available. I can use an existing template, and here we see we have many templates available. And if you can't find what you're looking for, please contact us. We will create the template for you. I can start from scratch. I can also import a saved form template from another list. So for today's webinar, I'm going to use an existing template, and I'll select car rental form. So first, let's give our form a title. So let's name it car rental form. And the first thing here we see is all these fields that have red highlights around them. So this means that these fields, these columns, do not exist in the list we created. And this is true simply because we haven't added any columns to our list. So what I can do here, I can click one by one on this icon and then create a column. Or if I want to create them all at the same time, I can click here on the top at the same icon. And then I can click OK to create them. Now here we also see all these checkboxes on the right side. And this is asking me if I want to also add these columns to the list view. So if there are any columns I don't want to add to the list view, I can simply uncheck them. Okay, so let's click OK. And now this is creating all our columns, as well as we'll add the ones we chose to the list view. Okay, so I can easily rearrange my fields by using drag and drop, or if you don't like drag and drop, you can use these directional arrows. I can easily resize fields, make them bigger or smaller as needed. I can add conditions and validations to my fields. For example, I can make email field required or validated with email address format. I can add and insert columns, additional columns. I can insert elements. Now let's do the following. Let's add a logo at the top to brand our form. So I'll come here where it says insert elements, and I'm going to select empty HTML cell. So let's drag it here to the top, and I'll click to edit it. Now I'm going to insert an image. Let's select an image. So I'll select my image and I want to center it. So that looks good. Let's save it. At any point, you can click on this eye icon to preview your form. And here you have some additional options, like you can change the theme, light or dark, you can control the width. You also have some edit style options there. So currently I have two tabs here, customer information, rental information. Let's create a third tab here. I want to have a signature here. So let's call it signature. And let's add a couple of fields here. So let's add accept terms and also signature. Okay, so I will preview my form one last time before publishing it. So that looks good. And once I'm happy, I'll just click save. Now here I'm getting this message and it's asking me where I want the form settings to be hosted. But please note that all submitted data will only be stored in your SharePoint environment. So here you can choose what you would like. And by the way, we are adding other options based on customer feedback here. So if you're interested in other options, now is the time to let us know as we're adding other options. So I'm happy with the US. I'll just click OK. And now we see that our form has been created, and you can create as many public intake forms as you would like. So here I can click on these three dots, edit it, duplicate it, or delete it. I can preview, of course, the form here. And let's take a look at this. So here we have the embed code. I can click on this, copy it, and embed it on our website or any other public facing site. Here we have the share link, so I can just copy, share it externally. I can click on this and see the form is now opening in a new tab. One thing I would like to show you is that form is fully web and mobile responsive. And here we can generate a QR code in a second. So we click on it, we can print it, take it to events. And by the way, if you have your mobile phones, please go ahead and scan this QR code. I'm going to do the same. And we will be seeing all the submissions instantly in our SharePoint list. So let's scan it and fill out the form quickly. And you will notice there are some validations on our form. So if you do not provide a valid email address, it will not let you proceed. So please ensure you provide an email address that matches email address format. And I'm clicking on the submit button. So once your form is submitted, you should receive a confirmation message. Okay. So now let's go to our SharePoint list form and see all the submissions. As I mentioned earlier, all the submissions are instant. And I see I'm the only one who submitted, so nobody else submitted the form, and that's fine. So this is our submission. We just submitted it a few seconds ago. Okay, let's take a look at our form. So currently we have, now this is our SharePoint list form. So it's a simple form here. It's a long form. Nothing looks appealing here. Let's spend the next 15 minutes or so to enhance the look of our SharePoint list form. So maybe what we want to do is we want to make some fields dynamic. So for example, I have here a referral name. I want to show the referral name only when my user selects here. I'll go to edit mode so you can see it. When they select friend, for how did you hear about us? If they select any other option, I want to hide the referral name simply because this is not relevant. So let's do it. I will open this in a new tab so I can easily switch between the tabs. And I see we have some other submissions here. I guess I should have refreshed the page. So thank you everyone for submitting it. So let's now open quiz app settings page once again. And this time we will look at a couple of other features. So the first one we will look at is called column permissions. So it allows me to dynamically show, hide, or disable fields depending on various criteria. So to find our field, I can either look for it. I see I have 2 pages, or I can simply type a couple of letters and easily find it. Referral name. So now I'm adding a new rule. So what do I want to do? I can show this field, hide it, or disable it. So let's say I want to hide the referral name. And now we have the options: new item form, edit item form, view item form, or even list views. I want to select a new item form. So I want to hide the referral name in the new item form, but I don't want to do this always. I want to do this dynamically. I'm adding a condition. I want to hide it when "how did you hear about us" is not equal to friend. So again, we see hide referral name when "how did you hear about us" is not equal to friend. So that looks good. I'm going to click on the apply button. And by the way, here you can add multiple conditions with and or operator, but we won't be doing that now. Okay, so let's refresh now our page and look at the changes we have just done. Okay, so for "how did you hear about us," let's select friend, and right away I see referral name appears. If I select any other value, let me see why. Okay, let's see what we did here. Referral name hide in new item form when "how did you hear about us" is not equal to friend. So that's correct. Let's open a new item. Okay, so when I select friend, I see referral name right away. So if I select any other field, see the referral name is hidden. I think that was just some caching thing. Okay, so next let's dynamically validate some fields. So for example, if I select friend, I have here this referral name. So I can go ahead and save this form without providing information, the referral name, and it will work. It will save my form. So what I want to do is I want to validate the referral name field as a required field when friend is selected for "how did you hear about us." So let's do that. And also another thing I would like to do it, I would like to validate email field with email address format. So if somebody provides email address that doesn't match email address format, they will receive an error message. So let's do that. We'll come back to our settings page. And this time I'm going to select column validation feature. So this looks already familiar. I can just search for the columns fields I'm looking for, referral name. I'll click add new rule. So what I want to do is I want to ensure referral name is a required field, and this means not empty. So I'll select not empty. Here you can add your custom error message. I'll leave it as it is. And let's add a condition. So I want the referral name to be a required field, in other words, not empty, when "how did you hear about us" is equal to friend. So let's click on the apply button to save our changes. And now let's validate the email address field. So I'll select the field email. I'll add a new rule. Here, the very last one is called matches pattern. So now we have here many ready-to-use expressions such as date format, decimal number, image file name, IP address, postal code, URL, you name it. So if you cannot find what you're looking for, you can click here, create your own expressions, or you can simply ask us and we'll help you with that. You can also edit existing ones. Okay, so here for our webinar today, I'm selecting email address. And here let's write a custom error message saying, please provide a valid email address. And I don't want to add any conditions. I'll simply click on the Save button. Okay, so let's refresh now our page. And let's try to fill it out and save it. So let's try to write an email address that is not correct here, and let's see if it's going to give us that error message. So here I'm going to select friend, and I'm going to leave this referral name empty. Let's see what will happen. And see, the form is not letting me proceed, and it wants me to ensure that the data is correct. So here we are getting this error message, please provide a valid email address. So let's write the email address, and now referral name. It's also prompting me that this is a required field. Okay, so now let's go ahead and save this form. So this time I was able to save this form successfully. So next, let's improve the layout of our form by making it a multi-tab and multi-column form. So currently it's a long form. I need to scroll down. What I want to do is I want to organize my form into several tabs or groups. So let's say I want to have 3 tabs. In the first tab, I'll show the contact information. In the second tab, I'll show the referral information. In the third one, I'll show membership information. Okay, so let's do that. And this time I'm coming back to the form settings page, and I'm going to select form builder feature. So we have 2 options here. We can use tabs or collapsible groups. It's just a matter of preference. I'm going to select tabs. I'll click here to create our new tab, and let's give our tab a name. Since this is where I want to display contact information, I'll name it contact details. So now I'm going to add on this plus sign, add rows, and this will add rows, and then we can have several fields in a row. We can have 3 or 4, as many as we would like. We can resize our fields, make them smaller or bigger. So in this first row, let's have 2 fields. Now I'm going to choose which fields I would like to display here. So first name, and then a last name. Let's add another row with 2 more fields here. And I want to display here email address and phone number. And by the way, here you can add conditions to the visibility of the tab. So let's say maybe you want to show some tabs to specific users or groups and hide it from others. So here you can select, for example, current user, and then we have some operators here, is in groups, not in groups, or is equal, not equal to, contains, does not contain, and then you can type a couple of letters here and then find what you're looking for. But I will not add any conditions. I simply will save this first tab. And now let's create our second tab. So here is where I want to display the referral information. So I'll call it referral details. So I'll add a row, and I want a single field in this row. I'll select how did you hear about us. Let's add another one at the bottom. And here let's select referral name. And now let's create our third and last tab. And here I am going to name this membership details. Let's add 2 fields in a single row here and select booking ID and member ID. And one thing also here I would like to show you is that you can add some HTML elements such as a horizontal line, text cell, a button. So for example, if I select text cell, this is a rich text editor. So you can add pretty much anything you would like here. You can insert some tables, images to brand your form, dynamic tokens, etc. And also here we said that we have a button, and a button is a script editor. Okay, so we won't do this. I'm going to click on the apply button to save it. And now let's go and refresh our form. So one thing again to mention, our form is fully web and mobile responsive. Now we have 3 tabs here. So for example, here everything is fully dynamic. See this, for example, these fields are a little bit too long. I want maybe to make them shorter. I can always come back here, click. And there are multiple ways you can do this. You can adjust the size. I'm going to use the simplest way. I'm going just to add an empty field next to it. And maybe I want to make it even shorter. So I'll increase the size of these empty fields here. That's it. And I'll click on the Save button. And now when we come back and refresh it, see now we see that it is a bit smaller. So now let's add some colors to our tabs. Currently, it doesn't look very nice and appealing. I'm going to click on this gear icon and then click on Styles. So under Sample Styles, I'll select Set Tab Style. So here, for non-selected tab, currently background color is white. But maybe I want to choose some kind of a blue. And for the text color, I'll select white. I can just type white and select it. For the selected tabs, let's change it into some red. That looks good. And again, you can have here the exact RGB of your colors, your organization's branding colors to match the exact branding. And when we hover over a tab, it will be light gray. So that looks good. Let's save it. See, now it looks a little bit better, more colorful. We have 3 tabs. The selected tab is red, non-selected are blue. And if we hover over it, it's light gray. Okay, so sometimes there is a need to print our registration forms or documents, anything we would like, we need. Maybe even just a car rental form, such as the one we have. So what we can do, we can come, simply select whatever we would like to print, and then we see this print button here. We just click on it, and then we can convert the documents to PDF, save it locally, or proceed with printing. But before I do this, I want to customize the header, maybe footer, and maybe add some watermarks. So one last time, let's go back to our settings page. And this time I'm going to look for our print feature. So there it is. I'll click on print. And now you can inherit site settings, but if you want, you can also customize the settings for a specific list or library. So I'll uncheck this as I want to customize the settings for this specific list. So I'll click on page layout. So here we can control the page size. Let's choose A4. Page orientation, whether it's landscape or portrait, page margins, and I want to allow users to customize page layout settings. If you don't want, simply uncheck that. I'll click on the apply button, and let's go back now to the menu. And let's click on header and footer. So I want to include header and footer. Now we have already some options here. You can always change these options. What we have here is a list. This is a dynamic token, and also today, dynamic token today. So maybe what we can do is let's make it bold, and maybe let's increase the size. Let's add a logo here to brand our form. So I'll insert an image, select just a logo. That looks good. Now let's look at our footer. So here again, I have some dynamic tokens, the name of who printed the document, the date, number of pages. So let's add some more branding here. And this time I want to add an icon. So this is pretty large. What I'll do, I'll just make it smaller. Then we can improve a little bit the look here. And you can, of course, adjust it, add anything you would like here. I also want, again, to allow users to remove, to have the option to remove header and footer. So that looks good. I'll click on the Apply button. And then I'll go back to the menu one last time. And let's click on watermark. I want to include a watermark. And here let's have the watermark text. I'll write SnapOn software. Layout, diagonal or horizontal. I'll leave it as diagonal. You can choose the font, the size. Let's increase the size. Opacity. Let's have 20. And the font color. Let's choose some nice blue. And once again, I want to allow the users to remove watermark if needed. Okay, we'll click on the Save button. And now let's go back, refresh our page. And now I'm going to select what I'd like to print. Then I'll click on this button. So here it's asking me what to print. So I can select item properties only, include attachments, or only attachments. So I would like to include attachments. I'll click on that, and then you can adjust the page size and other things. If we also give the option to users to include watermark and header footer. So that looks good. I will click on the preview button. So this is now generating a preview. And even at that point, I can make some minor adjustments before proceeding to print. Okay, so we see our preview. Let's zoom in a little bit. So we see our logo in the header. We see the list name. That's for dynamic tokens and the date. We see that my printing feature respects my form customizations that we made earlier. I see the watermark. In the footer, I see our icon, company icon, and I see again some dynamic tokens. I see the attachment, because we chose to print the attachment as well, and the signature. So from here, I can click on download and save this, convert them to PDF, save it local on my computer, or I can proceed with printing.